Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of the There's No Crying in Crochet podcast. This is the podcast where we tackle your everyday crochet frustrations and provide you with solutions. I am Biz from Busy Crochet, and this is my gorgeous co host.
I am Debbie from MadameStitch.
Hello again. In today's episode, we will be continuing. I'm just going off my notes here. We will be continuing in January's Mindful Crochet series, and we will be discussing correct body alignment and how that can be a game changer for you for your crochet comfort and health. And then we're also going to be talking about some other tools that you can use. But before we dive into all that goodness, let's go ahead and what's up this week?
Oh my gosh. Did you want to do all the business stuff like and subscribe?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channels so that you can keep up with all of our tutorials that we're dropping and any other every time we do a podcast, it goes on there. And also everything new that we're putting up, we're making sure that we're putting stuff all the time. I need to upgrade my phone because I've got like several that are waiting to go up. So, but say love you. All right. And if you're on Facebook, make sure that you are giving StreamYard permission so that we can see your name. They don't do anything with it that we're aware of. It just makes it so that we can see who you are. So you're not a nameless, faceless Facebook user. Now, what's up this week?
I'm all about taking care of business.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm always jumping over something.
That's all right. I'll keep you on the straight and narrow, my friend.
Thank you.
It's just kind of the same old, but I will say that this week we finally got snow for the first time in count them, 2 years.
Wow.
2
Wow. That
years.
is a long time.
So we had snow on Tuesday. The kids had off Monday. The grandkids had off Monday because it was a holiday.
Mhm.
And then this storm came through and they had off Tuesday.
Oh.
That was like 4 or 5 inches of light, fluffy snow. So it was no big deal to get everything shoveled out. And don't you know, it's snowing again today, kind of the same fluffy white snow. But the schools all got called off last night. So my grandkids have had 2 days of school this week instead of 5,
Well,
which they're loving, of course.
Little break after the
But
break.
I'll tell you what, it's just so gorgeous. Snow is so gorgeous. I know I'm going to be over it by the time this one is done. Melt it, get it out of here. That
Yes.
was it. Build a fire once and done,
Yeah.
which we did. But it's just been so pretty around here this week.
Snow is very
And what
pretty when it starts. I mean, it was always very pretty when it first started coming down, especially when you get the light fluffy stuff that's like it feels like Christmas.
And it's just so quiet outside because
Mhm.
you can't hear the cars. It kind of
Yes.
muffles all of that
Yes.
noise.
Love that.
Yeah, I love it. So other than the usual MadameStitch stuff, it's the snow.
Oh, that's nice. So we also got that same storm because it swooped by us and then went up by you. And we're freezing to death. We actually had to run the water for 2 nights because it got like in the 20s at night. And I know that everybody up north is like, "Oh, you're such a weenie." No, you don't understand. When it gets to 20 degrees in Florida, you are absolutely frozen. I was
Yep.
running around because I don't make myself slippers because my feet are always hot, and it's always hot here. And usually my floors are very, cool, so I don't think about it. Well, they were cold, like cold. And so I had to borrow my husband's slippers. So I'm running around like looking like a clown because four sizes too big for me. I was never so grateful for a pair of slippers, I'm telling you. Um, Hi, Carolina from Sweden. Welcome today. So glad you're here. But other than that, nothing really exciting has been happening this week. I've been working on our little project that's coming up,
I
and
know, me too.
I'm almost done with my
Oh,
part of it, which is exciting.
hey,
And
Biz,
we just
can I
sent it.
can I just can I just quick show
Oh,
one of the
yes,
squares?
please do.
Okay. This, in my opinion, is the least interesting of all 4. So if you love this square, you're going really down the other ones. but I just am in love with the
Oh,
way these
yes.
squares are turning out. I would
They are
have the other ones,
so
but they're
pretty.
down by my chair. Um, but I've been working on I'm almost finished with all the squares, and Biz has been working on her part,
Uh-huh.
and I think we're about a week or so away from going, "Look at what we've got."
Yes, yes. Because I just have one half of one section and then one strip to finish, and I am done with my part, and the rest of it seems to be flowing along really, really well. And I'm super excited about it because do we want to kind of tell people what it's going to be? I mean, since we are, let's see, we're a week and a half away. Oh,
From start I think we should make it a big reveal, so
okay. All right.
we'll tease it,
Yeah.
but we're gonna officially announce it at the end of January. What?
Yay. All right. That's cool. I will just behave myself and shut my mouth.
Shh.
Alrighty. So this week's topic, we are going to be discussing. I'm going to let you take it.
Oh, we're going to be discussing body alignment and why it's so important for crocheters. We talk a lot about posture, but in my years of training and career as a voice instructor and a professional musician, body alignment was front and center in everything. So um, I like to talk about posture. Posture is actually a byproduct of body alignment. So if you think about how your body is lined up, and we'll talk about this, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Good posture is what happens when you align your body. So
Mhm,
we're going
mhm.
to talk about it from the standpoint of aligning your body to get the most benefit out of your crochet sessions. Now,
So I'm
Biz
a little
just put up
behind.
there.
Mhm,
No. Biz just put up there. We are not medical
mhm,
professionals.
mhm,
So we are not giving medical advice. This is not what we're here about. Our
mhm,
what we have to offer comes from years of crochet experience. I did train
mhm,
in somatic voice works, which means working with the body and alignment. So I do
mhm,
have some training, but I
mhm.
am not a medical professional. We are
No,
not giving you medical advice.
me either.
These are things you can use to help you in your everyday crochet.
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty. So, you kind of discussed what is body alignment, but maybe we'll go back to that. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it professionally termed, it's how the body lines up from top to bottom, bottom to
Mhm.
top for optimal health.
Okay.
So if you think of, your spine is actually curved naturally. So you're not talking about a straight spine, but how are your hips aligned over your legs and feet? How is your back aligned over your hips? Then you kind of work your way up, and how is everything kind of stacked in
Mhm.
a way that promotes optimal performance? That's
Okay.
really what body alignment is.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. But I mean, like I see a chiropractor to, put my head back on my neck the way it's supposed to, right? Because
Yeah,
one thing
exactly.
that does actually happen is my skull likes to snap off to the side,
Mhm.
so I always have to go get
Right?
it put back.
Well, think about the natural times of your life when your body gets out of whack because of what you have to do,
Mhm.
carrying a baby on your hip all the time.
Mm, mhm,
I carry my purse on the same shoulder all the time. So I
mhm.
naturally, if I put my arms down, you can't really see it. Yeah, you can. One of my shoulders is, sorry, one of my shoulders is lower than the other one because
I
of
never
all
paid
of the
attention to
years of
that.
put, so I really have to think about it to keep my shoulders even. It's
Okay.
weird, right? So there are
Yeah.
places in your life where you do repetitive activities that are part
Mhm,
of your natural stage of life
mhm.
that kind of whack out your body alignment. You have to take those into consideration,
Sure.
and you can kind of figure out where certain aches and pains came from by just
Mhm.
kind of looking at what you were
Mhm.
doing at any stage of life.
And anytime
Um,
that you have an injury too, that'll always throw
mhm.
it off.
Right, so that's why a chiropractor is so important. Physical therapy is so important. It kind of puts everything back where it's supposed to
Uh-huh.
be so that it aligns the body. Every body is
Mhm.
different, but the overall general product is the same.
Right,
Product's
right,
not the right
right. We're
word,
all
but the
created the
bodies
same.
are all constructed the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so really body alignment's just a fancy way of saying posture, but I would posit that good posture is a result of proper body alignment. So if you think of it that way, that's how we're going to look at it today.
Alrighty.
Now, I put in there what crocheters focus on. We might want to do that
Okay, sure.
because we'll talk about this a lot during the episode. But we sit to crochet. There are crocheters who stand up, but it's really not very easy, especially when you're working on a large project.
Mhm.
So for crocheters, we're basically focusing from the hips up, trying to keep that part of the body aligned.
Mhm.
And as I was doing research for this podcast, I discovered that a lot of crocheters are now calling it ergonomic crochet,
Okay.
but that encompasses the hands, that encompasses how you work, not
Yeah.
just how you're aligned. So that's a broader subject, I think. But if you see the term ergonomic crochet, body alignment is part of that. Posture is
Okay.
part of that.
Yeah, because you have in your notes here, keeping your torso straight, avoid shoulder slumping, keep your head positioned over your neck, raise your crocheting to avoid constantly looking down. I went on a search for different things that we could use. I'm gonna
Mhm.
just I'm gonna bring up this picture real quick. This is
Oh, yeah.
something I feel like I want to get one of these because I feel like what a difference that would make, because you say we need to bring our crochet up, and which we naturally do, but we rely so much on our shoulders when we're doing that. And if we have something like this that actually raises our work up in front of us.
Yeah, and we'll talk about how to stack yourself um, so that we avoid what crochet normally does to our bodies, which is hunker us all inward front.
Right.
Um, but I want you to notice that his elbows um, aren't hanging free.
Right.
So in my chair, I have a recliner that I love to work in. I
Mhm.
have armrests that do the same thing that his object is doing there.
Okay.
And you'll notice that it doesn't raise his shoulders. His shoulders
Yeah.
are down and relaxed.
Yeah.
And it brings his laptop or whatever he's looking at more out in front of him rather than down in his lap so that he's
Right.
not doing this
Yeah,
with
that would
his
be
neck.
that
Yeah, I
neck
like that
thing.
picture. Yeah. I like that picture because we'll bring that back up when we're talking about how to stack.
Right. Right, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna just take that off there and we are back.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Okay, so what would you like to talk about next? Because
Well, I think it's important for us to look at why it's important for us in crochet. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Um, I mean, I see posts all the time, mostly about hands and wrists,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of other maladies that you can come up with that
Mhm.
are product of how we sit. So if you think
Mhm.
about what's a normal position for a crocheter, well,
Mhm.
your crochet is in your lap, so you're looking down. What does
Mhm.
that do to your neck?
Mhm.
Your hands are in front of you, pulling your shoulders forward,
Mhm.
so your chest is closed off and you're
Mhm.
hunching your back.
Mhm.
That's the main thing I see with crocheters and the position that we normally put ourselves in. And that can create neck pain. It can create shoulder pain, right? For
That's where I
me, if
struggle the
I'm,
most is in this area right here.
yep. And for me, it's the fronts of my arms
Okay.
because those muscles, when you do that, it shortens the muscle. And
Mhm,
if you
mhm.
don't counter that, we'll talk next episode about stretching and all of that.
Yeah.
But if you don't counter it on occasion, those
Mhm,
muscles shorten and are very difficult to get back to their
mhm,
original shape. And then
mhm.
that causes pain,
Mhm.
um, and chronic pain. And we don't
And
want that because,
and you were talking about how you usually hear about arm issues and stuff like that. A lot of arm issues, a lot of things in your wrist and in your elbows and stuff like that can actually be symptoms of stuff going on
mhm,
in your spine, in your neck, and in your
yep,
shoulders. And sometimes it's not even these guys, it's this guy.
right. So you have to find the root cause. You probably have that discussion with your chiropractor.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it originating
Yeah.
and what is it affecting everywhere else?
Yeah. 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 Because I noticed that my hips have a problem. I have my office chair needs to be upgraded. And if I sit in it for too long, I get kinked over on one side because it leans.
Yep, yep, yep,
I have issues with that hip the rest of the day.
yep. I mean, we think again, we sit all the time in crochet. So we think,
Mhm.
all right, we only need to think about our rear end up, but your whole body is part of this game.
Yes.
And how your legs and your hips are situated while you crochet can have a lot of impact on what your spine is doing. And then how you're, because every time there's a misalignment in one place, there's
Yep.
a compensation somewhere else.
Yep. For sure. That is absolutely the truth. Okay, do you want to talk about what proper body alignment for crocheters looks like? Alrighty.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a tough one. I had this issue with all of the singers that I would talk to in
Mhm.
lessons because I was trying to adjust their bodies for optimal performance.
Uh-huh.
And the hardest thing for singers, for any human being to do, is pull the shoulders back and
Mhm.
open up the chest. Now, that's super
Mhm.
important singing, but in crochet, it's also super important. But if you've never done that, for instance, if you look at me sitting at the table when I
Uh-huh.
eat,
Uh-huh.
I look like Miss Prim and Proper because I've had so many years of this is the way you need to hold your body that my body just goes, "Yep,
Oh,
that's it."
oh, it
But
hurts.
someone who doesn't do that, it hurts. It
Yes, it hurts right in the
hurts.
middle of my shoulders.
Right. So I one thing I would caution you as you're trying to figure out what that optimal position is, when you really get into a position where your shoulders are back and your chest is
Mhm.
open, it will feel awful. It will really feel awful. And I'm really sorry, but your body just isn't used to being in that position. So, one way to tell whether you have your shoulders in the right place, I'm not going to stand up right now, but if you stand and
Uh,
let your arms just hang,
uh-huh.
your palms should lie flat against the sides of your thighs.
Okay.
So I have fun story about a manager. When I was first married and still finishing my music degree, I worked at a fabric store in
Okay.
Houston. And the manager, I just loved to watch him walk because his palms would face back. And when
Okay.
he walked, it would look like he was swatting flies from his butt. It
Oh
was
my gosh. Oh my
Which
gosh.
means his shoulders were totally not in the right place,
Oh,
because
yeah.
if your arms are twisted that way, then your shoulders are forward.
Mhm.
So if you are swatting flies when you stand up, you are not your shoulders are not in the right place. Um, you just wanna pull them back until your palms are sitting nicely on the sides of your thighs.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, that's a good way to get everything open. Now, again, that's going to feel super uncomfortable when you first do it. And it's
Mhm.
going to feel really weird in a chair because
Uh-huh.
you want to be comfortable. But I swear, if you keep reminding yourself of it, eventually it will probably become second
More of a
nature.
habit.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We talked about in that picture about keeping your elbows where they should be. You don't want
Mhm.
your elbows to be um, hanging down too low because then that pulls your shoulders down
Yeah.
and then causes neck issues. Like I said, I have arms on my chair, so I tend to prop them up so my shoulders are in a more
Mhm.
neutral position. And those are
Sometimes
the
I
kinds of
find
things I see.
sometimes I find myself depending on the product or project and how close I have to have it. Sometimes I like find myself with my elbows like up in the air. Like, what is that? So yeah.
Well, you're getting yourself looking straight on, and that's the other biggest issue that crocheters have is we're always looking down. We're always
Hmm.
pulling inward and we're always looking down. Um, so stretching yourself up and keeping
Hmm.
your neck, your head should sit right over your shoulders.
Yeah.
So that, but that's hard when you're working on something because you can't hold your hands up,
It's
right?
just like this.
And then that
Yeah.
hurts, then our arms get tired. So
Can you
there's
imagine
an
doing a whole project up here? Ah, no.
I've tried it and it's not pretty and I can't do it for long. But yeah, so you have to find a position. One of the ways that I've found to kind of counter that, we tend to, if you can, there's a bump right at the back of your neck,
Uh-huh.
and that's kind of a pivot point for your neck. And we tend to bend forward from that point.
Yeah.
But if instead you look down with your
Mhm.
head and not your
Mm.
neck, that can counter some of that. So instead of using that vertebrae at the top of your shoulders as a pivot point,
Mhm.
which creates that back bump on your um, neck, look down instead.
I just thought of a when you said that we tend to look like this, it just made me think of when you are scrolling on your phone, that is also
Yep,
going to
it's the
exacerbate that problem.
same. It's the same thing. There are lots of activities that promote exactly what we're talking about in
Mhm.
crochet. Um, so I would say the two big things are keeping your shoulders
Okay,
back and
keep
open,
shoulders back.
right? And then
Yeah.
always, and then keeping your head over your shoulders. You can look down with your head over your shoulders. You can do that. One of the tricks that I would teach my singers was if you imagine right at the soft where your soft spot used to be,
Mhm.
if you attached an imaginary string to that and took that string and pulled on it, it takes your body and it stretches it up.
Mm.
And that always helped feel a little bit of elongation in the spine, a little bit of an
Mhm.
open
It
chest.
really opens your
Now
diaphragm up when you do that.
it opens that torso up big time.
Mhm.
But again, it's gonna feel really uncomfortable when you
Yeah.
first try to do it, and you're gonna come back to this podcast, or you're gonna email me or tweet at me or something and go, "That was a load of crap because that didn't feel I got sore from doing that." Well, think about any new activity you do.
Any new activity, your body's gotta relearn it.
Your body goes, nope,
Yep.
nope, that no, my muscles are
Because
not gonna get used that way.
we slouch, etcetera, because of muscle memory.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a great way to look at it. We crochet with muscle memory, right? That's how we
Mhm.
crochet so
Yep.
quickly.
Yeah.
And our posture, our body alignment is tied directly to that. So this
Okay,
is
so I
a
have a
change
question for
that's
you.
hard.
You know those, braces that you can get that, like, go around your shoulders that, like, force your would you recommend
Oh
something
yeah.
like that to somebody who's really struggling with it but wants to open up their
Honestly, I've never tried them, so I can't
Mhm.
make a pronouncement in that way. Um, it kind of makes me think of I mean, a century ago when girls were being taught proper posture and they'd
Yeah.
put a board behind their back and they
Oh, yeah.
that's what it
Mhm.
reminds me of. But I'm
Had to
not
walk around
I
with
don't
books on their head.
yeah, exactly. No, I honestly can't speak to that one and I don't want to give advice when I haven't done the research or the
Sure.
product testing, but the concept of
Mhm.
that is a good concept, I think.
Yeah. Alright, is there anything else that you wanted to add to this?
I don't think so, because we're gonna later on in the episode, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through a way to align yourself,
Okay.
so that you kind of get an idea of how to build yourself from the bottom up.
Okay.
Sounds really funny.
No, I mean, that sounds good. Alrighty. So the next thing that we have on our list is we're going to talk about how to set up your regular crochet space so that it actually helps your
Mhm.
alignment. It helps you stay in alignment.
Biz, you
Hmm.
have a place where you like to crochet all the time.
Yes.
What does your space look like?
My space, most of my yarn is in front of me. I have a small table that I keep that I just feed from there. Otherwise, if I'm working from a ball, sometimes I'll put it in a bag on the floor. But like my drink is here, my phone is here, everything is within my purview right here. And
Mhm.
I have it's like a straight back kind of Queen Anne style chair that I sit in.
Oh gosh, that sounds very proper.
It's, eh, we are the land of hand-me-down furniture in this house. So um it just happens to be a chair that worked in that spot at that time.
But you find that comfortable because you
Yeah, it's
crochet
all
for
right.
hours.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My crochet space is a recliner with
Uh-huh.
a table off to the left that holds all my supplies and
Mm.
a basket on the floor that holds the rest of the supplies. But I find I could crochet for hours if I have my feet propped up off the floor.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
have a stool
when
as
I
well.
put them when I put my feet on the floor, I tend to cross my legs, which is
Okay.
really kinda horrible for your back. Um, and I don't feel comfortable with my feet flat on the floor, so I
Yeah.
put my chair up and then sit up in my reclining chair.
Uh-huh.
Um, so what I would suggest, what we've just talked about, is
Mhm,
finding a chair that promotes proper body alignment, good
mhm,
posture. Something that you sink into is probably not a great idea, but you
mhm,
want something that supports your hips and feet.
mhm,
So, and I like that my recliner for that reason because I there's no weight on that
mhm,
part of my body.
mhm,
They just kind of get taken out of the equation. Um, and something that has, if you don't have arms on your chair, you
mhm,
found a couple of things I think online, like a lap pillow or
mhm.
um,
Yep, I can bring
the
that back up.
yeah. So that's pretty hardcore. You can also just take a pillow that raises your arms up to the right level
Here's
and
another
put it in
one
your lap.
too
Oh yeah,
that's a little bit more, budget friendly than the other one.
yep.
This is a breastfeeding pillow, but you can use it the same way.
I've actually seen crocheters use something like
Mhm.
that, and that
Yep.
fits the front of that. It wraps around your front, so
Yep.
your arms just rest on that. Yeah, I
Yep.
like that.
Yeah, so,
That's a
like,
good
I mean, you can
option.
go hardcore, you can go full out and get yourself a little mini desk for your legs, or you can just and you can use something at home too. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy
Yeah,
special things for this. You can just use what you have. And
yeah,
as long as you've got something that brings your stuff up, you could just grab a couple of pillows and just stick them
yeah.
around you.
Yeah, and I think, we don't often think about lower back pain, but
Mm,
because our spine is curved,
mhm,
it tends to curve away from the back of the chair, and having a
mhm.
pillow right there can also help,
Lumbar support
I
is
think.
super important.
Mhm. You also mentioned something I think we don't consider, is having all of our supplies around us readily available,
Mhm.
right? So, I have everything set out where I can easily reach them,
Yep.
um, and so do you.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm not constantly having to get up and down out of my chair, although
Mhm.
getting up once in a while
Yeah.
isn't a bad idea, right?
We are definitely not discouraging physical exercise and movement. It's just
No,
for the sake of
sit.
when we are working, we wanna have everything we need right there.
I'm sure you're the same way. I sit down with a project, and if I have unlimited time, that unlimited time is on my rear end
Yeah,
in my chair. But
absolutely.
I but we all have to get up. I'd say every 15 to 30 minutes and just move. Just get up. My Apple Watch is programmed to tell me to get up once an hour, which is probably not enough.
Uh-huh. Well, you and I talked about what we were kind of doing this week, and I had told you that I've been doing this fast with my church. Well, I've also been severely increased the amount of water that I'm drinking. So I'm up to about 3.5 quarts a day. And so I don't have to work to get up every 15 to 30 minutes. My body makes me. So it's it's got a hidden blessing. So if you really, really need to make sure, if you find that you're a little too sedentary, increase your water intake and you will have to get up.
I agree. That's a great suggestion. And it
It's
has
good for
many
us anyway,
benefits,
right?
right? Um, we didn't talk about lighting, but lighting is super important.
Hmm.
We do all kinds of subconscious um, compensating when we don't have proper lighting. So I have a standing lamp behind one shoulder and I have a table lamp on the other side. And when I'm working with dark yarn or stitches that are hard to see, I have a Lumos neck light that I
Yeah,
can
I've
turn
got a
on and
neck one that
direct.
I put on when I'm
Yep.
working on dark stuff.
And all of those things will promote proper body alignment.
Right, right. Yeah, because if you're like this underneath a lamp trying to see what you're doing, that's not helping you at all. Not gonna help.
Not No. Or take the contacts out, take the glasses off, and get it right here because your near point is there.
Oh my
So
gosh. So the funny thing is I
I'm
really
so
need to go
blind.
and get my eyes checked. So I wear like these have bifocals in them, but I throw another pair of reader glasses over the top of this. But there are times when those I see better without my glasses on because I am very
Yeah.
nearsighted. So sometimes I'm just blind. Cannot see what I'm doing at all.
Yeah, my daughter makes fun of us for wearing 2 pairs of glasses, but when you gotta, you
Hey
gotta.
man, I would rather wear
Just gonna
two
say.
pairs of glasses and look like a boob than not see.
Exactly.
So there's a trade-off. Alrighty, so we're dun, 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 let's get ourselves aligned. Mm.
Okay. So, I'm gonna talk you through this.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm not gonna worry about your hips and your legs and feet because, you just have to get into position that puts your spine in the right place. Um, so if you start from your bottom,
Mhm.
you wanna get your seat all the way back to the back of the chair if you can, or find a spot on that chair where
Mhm.
you can maintain the curvature of that lumbar region,
Mhm.
right? And then from there on up, we say we want a straight spine, but again, the spine is curved, so
Yeah.
curved vertically, not
Right.
curved horizontally, but
Right.
um, it's curved, so you have to honor that curve. It's
Uh-huh.
curved inward at the lower back and it's curved outward between the shoulders. So you kind of have to honor that. But body alignment means that your vertebrae are all lined up vertically,
Okay.
not curving one way or the other. You
Right.
don't want to be twisting. And you were talking about how if you're sitting wrong in your chair, you for too long, you
Mhm.
have to, sit to one side. Well,
Yeah.
that curves your spine this way, right? So you
Yeah.
want to find some way to get that lined up. All right, so we get to our shoulders. We figured out how to align our shoulders by standing up, putting your hands next to your thighs, and finding that relaxed, natural down position, open position of the shoulders. You got to stand up to do it first because you have to remember
Okay.
what that feels like.
Because
Remember
I'm
what
like,
that feels like, and then you sit down and see if you can replicate that, right? So
okay.
stand up and you find where your shoulders should be. I don't know if you can see it, but my shoulders are
Yeah.
back and pretty
Yeah.
open chest. Sh A crocheting will do that
Oh
to
yeah.
you,
I'm
right?
very
So you
rounded.
wanna right? So you
Like I could probably
stand up.
snap walnuts with
Nice! Another skill we should aspire to.
how
Um,
big are your
but
crochet
get those
muscles?
shoulders open and as even as you can, you if
Yeah.
if you crochet like this, that might end up being a problem someday.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I envy
then
those young people that can actually sit on a couch with their knees cocked off to the side and they're like leaning on stuff like this and working. I have not been able to achieve that position in years.
No, and that's probably a good thing you can't, because
Yeah.
that's probably not a great position to be in if you have
No.
to be there for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Then you're going to take that imaginary string, pull up, and
Mm.
lengthen your neck. And you kind of feel the back of your head pull off of your shoulders a little bit.
Um,
So your chin should be slightly down. So if you I should have gotten a picture of a skeleton, because the jaw actually sits lower in the head sits lower in the front. It's balanced in the back on your spine,
uh-huh.
right? So you don't want to be looking up.
Interesting.
You're not going to be looking up like this as you crochet, but you also don't want to
That's
be
good that I have to.
there, except when you have bifocals. What is that stitch?
What is that?
I love it. I know, right? And you keep everything kind of centered over those shoulders,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And then look down with your head and your eyes, not with
Uh-huh.
your neck. And
Alrighty.
you are now aligned,
Well, I'm gonna try that
just
today when I sit in my chair.
stacked, just stacked. Mhm.
Awesome. Well, that was amazing information today, and I know I'm gonna try it. So,
Just be
um,
patient.
mhm,
I remind everybody to be patient, because it won't feel good. It
yeah,
really won't feel good. But the benefits of becoming adept at keeping your body aligned are far outweigh the little bit of discomfort that you feel getting into a new position.
yeah. We do have a couple of um things that we're going to talk about, some tools that you can use to protect yourself while you crochet or to help you get over some of the pains that have been created. Here is an article by Yarn Plaza. It's ergonomic crochet tips to avoid pain. All of these I went ahead and I linked. And if you want to go on my
Mhm.
description, Deb, just grab those because I linked everything that we're talking about is linked in that description. So this article's there, and then we have also an interweave diagram that shows ergonomic for crochet. Now, does this give you like body alignment? Is that what they're referring to here?
Yeah, they're basically showing you how to sit in a straight back chair. So you have to sort of take, if you sit in a recliner or a different kind of chair, you kind of have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt, but they identify different parts of the body and where they should basically sit to keep you aligned.
Sure. Okay. And then just some different places that you can go to find different products. We're throwing Betty McKnitt out there because she is a fellow Yarny and we want to support fellow Yarnies.
Mhm.
And she's got a collection of some somatic crochet items on her website. I did go to Amazon just to find a few things.
Oh,
This is
cool.
very, very helpful and has become very, very popular. The heated neck massagers where you get like a
Mm.
shiatsu
Mhm.
massage and it's warm. And I really want to get one of these things because boy, could my neck use it. And then you had
Oh,
brought
those
up,
are
you have
cool.
in the list that elbow splints.
Mhm.
If you are experiencing any kind of like pinching in your elbow or tennis elbow or tendonitis or something like that, these are also very helpful to use to help you while you're crocheting or even recovery afterwards. And then wrist brace for carpal tunnel issues and stuff like that also are a good idea to have available so that either to relieve pressure from it or to use while you're. And then I did want to show you one other thing. This is a present my husband got for me. It's called the PB01 and it's made by Sharper Image. You can get this at Walmart and it is a little like personal massager thing that I use.
Oh.
I use it for my arms all of the time because I do have
Mhm.
carpal tunnel issues. I use it on my hands. I use it on my fingers. I don't do the back of the hands because it hurts on the bones, but it's so helpful and it just releases all of that. As a matter of fact, yesterday my arms were so tight I couldn't even write. My hand hurt. So I just
Oh.
massaged both my arms and it's easy enough. I use it on my lower back as well and I'll use it up here on my neck. I mean, I'm makes my voice vibrate. But it's pretty intense. Like it can go there. That's one and two, and it comes with like 5 different attachments, and then it goes super duper fast, and it's rechargeable. So there's zip tie.
Sweet.
It has been.
That looks like a neat
My husband gave
gadget.
it to me like 2 years ago for Christmas because he knew that I need to massage my hips and legs because of my arthritis and stuff. And he gave it to me for that purpose. And, it sat in a box for a really long time. And then one day I took it out and I need to get another one in my house. So I know that they're about $79 at Walmart. So it's an investment, but boy, these suckers are life changers.
Mhm. Now that's great. I've also seen some Instagram posts about compression gloves.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure what they do, but,
Well, I bought myself ones that had the copper in them and I wasn't impressed. But I mean, not every product is for every person, right?
yeah, but it's just an option.
Mhm.
I'm not entirely sure what its benefit is, and we maybe for our next episode, since we're talking about how to
Mhm.
take care of our do some stretches and that sort of thing,
Mhm.
maybe we can research what some of these,
Sure.
products are
Yeah,
and
come back next week. We'll tell you what compression gloves do.
okay, I'm putting in my list.
Well, that'll work. But yeah, so alignment is going to be the key thing. That's what we're talking about this week, and that is definitely where you want to start. And that's why we did that one first instead
Mhm,
of doing like next week. We're going to be talking about different stretching techniques you can do for your hands and your arms and your shoulders and your neck. So that you can, because this is mindful crochet and self care month for us. Being January, it's the best way to start a new year. So
mhm,
it sets us up for success the rest of the year, right? Um,
perfect.
so other than that, is there anything else that you feel like we could add, or does anybody have any questions about anything? Because we're happy to go over it again, or even to research it for next week if you've got something that you want to learn. But other than that, like I said, all of the links, I don't have any affiliate links, so don't feel like I'm touting any kind of product or anything. The
Mm-mm.
links for the products are just in the description for your use. The other thing too is oh, I forgot what it was. It just went out of my brain. But have you had the chance to watch anything interesting this week?
We watched the Eagles, implode, and they're out of the playoffs, so actually,
We
I
did the
didn't
same
watch
with the
them.
Packers. It was so amazing. I can't
I
believe
went to
how
I
badly
went
they
to
walked the
bed.
Cowboys.
Yeah, the Eagles just I just went to bed. I watched, I
Yeah.
think, the first couple of plays and went to bed because thankfully it was a Monday night football game and I go to bed early, so I had a good excuse.
Yeah.
But I'm kinda glad they're not in the playoffs. I mean, we're watching all the playoff games because it's they're fun to watch, but,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just continuing with our quest to get caught up on all of the shows that are gonna premiere next month.
Oh, man.
Last night, I had the house and the TV to myself, so I
Ooh,
tried.
so not
I
to do it.
know, I know, what up? So I went on Amazon Prime and I've been dying to try Reacher,
Oh,
um,
yes, love that show.
and I watched the first episode. So good. This
It is.
guy's intense. I
Isn't
love it.
he good?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna continue watching that one. Not true crime, but boy, there's a mystery brewing, and he's just I
Yeah.
l I don't know what it is, but I love to see any male, female, I don't care,
Uh,
just have such physical dexterity that they can
mhm.
take any situation and make their way out of it. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy beats his way out of a five-person smackdown in the prison.
Yes.
Like, how did you what?
Well, and he's believable at it, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
sometimes they
he
do
is, he
these
is.
in shows, and it's like, I don't know, that I think that guy
Yeah.
could have probably taken you if this was not
Yeah, I
choreographed.
loved watching the I also love it when shows will give us, um, glimpses into someone's past
Yeah.
that informs their present. So they
Yeah.
were showing the scene with him and his brother. He's the younger brother.
Mhm.
And the kid who plays him as a younger kid, um, was the younger kid. I think it was in Lock and Key, which I or maybe it's not, but he played somebody I've seen before in a series, and
Uh-huh.
he's such a great actor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
I'm
did a really
so
good job
excited.
with this crew.
Yeah. So I'm just starting with season 1. We'll see how that goes, but
Oh,
that's
good,
what I'm
I'm glad.
watching.
Well, we're waiting
Now
for the
I
last couple episodes of season 2 to download, so
Oh,
yeah.
but aren't you fasting from TV right now?
We
Or
are! Ugh, right? So, I haven't the only things that we are watching is I watched Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version yesterday or yeah, yesterday afternoon, and, Tony's watching football. Otherwise, and it's not my fast for TV, it's his fast for TV, so I'm fasting TV too. But I'm supposed to be fasting social media, and I am for the most part. I'm staying off of it. I'm only doing business when I have to be on there. But oh God, it's so hard. You just mindlessly pick this stuff up and just you're lost on it for
yeah.
hours and hours and hours. And I sat there like, okay, now what am I supposed to do with myself? You know, you don't even know who you are anymore, and you're like, I'm fasting this stuff. What am I gonna do?
I know.
So
I mean, I have the TV on in the background when I work. It just kinda keeps me company, and the weirdest part is I could listen to the radio. My son has me on his Spotify account, but I get distracted by the music. I don't get
wow.
distracted by the TV. It's the weirdest thing.
Really?
Um, yeah. So, I don't know what I would do if my TV went out,
Yeah, yeah.
because I don't spend hours on social media.
Now see, I'm the
So
same way if I were to try and I've tried to listen to books on tape,
oh,
and I can't do it. I can't concentrate there and here. I have to have just a noise that I can come in
yeah,
and out of as I want.
yep, exactly. And all of the TV I watch during the day is stuff that's on network TV
Mhm.
somewhere that's big reruns of eh, I've seen all the episodes before. I mean, I love the characters, so I love to watch
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but I can't listen to music because I either get distracted by it or I hate what I'm listening to and I have to keep changing it. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
I
just
understand
weird.
that. I tend not to listen to music with words. Nick Cave
Mm,
and Warren oh, I'm Nick Cave, I can't remember the other guy's name, and but they compose together a lot. Him and, Arnold. How do I not know these names? Like, these are my favorite composers, and they're just a boom. But there's a guy in Iceland, he's really good, and then, Nick Cave and Warren I think it's Warren Ellis, but I could be wrong. I listen to a lot of their stuff just because it's music, but it's not words. And I
yeah.
need thinking music. It helps me
Mm.
concentrate. Because if there's no noise in my room, I'm listening to myself breathe or the house tick, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
It's
and
irritating to
I
me. I have to have noise.
yeah, or I get distracted by what's going on outside the window. I live on a quiet street, but both of these windows face the street, so it's easy to see. I'm now the neighborhood nosy
You're the thing.
busybody 'cause
You
I
are
mean,
the neighborhood
I
watch.
could see it. I could see it. Who just got in their car? Who is that driving away?
I don't
Sorry.
know if you've ever seen, Luann, and now I can't remember her name either. My brain is just, like, on tilt today. But she is a comedian who, she's from Tennessee, and she's hilarious. And she said when she was, younger and she had babies and all this stuff, and she said and she kinda let herself go to pot, and she said, "I'd be standing there at the window with a baby on my hip going, 'Where's she going with lipstick on?'" You know? Every time I think of that, whenever it's like, "What's happening out there?" I mean, Tony and I are the worst. We're the nosiest neighbors. But, I mean, we've got some funky neighbors who get a little loud sometimes, and it's just the funniest thing. You just sit there at the window and you just watch people.
Well, telling all the secrets. So if any of our neighbors are watching, we're really
Yeah,
sorry.
we love you. We really, really love you.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I don't think any of my neighbors even know my name. So, yeah.
Oh gosh, everybody on the street knows me. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you have a dog that walks 2 to 3 miles a day, so you're
Mhm.
constantly
Mhm.
passing everybody multiple times a day,
Yeah.
"Hi."
Yeah. Although we've been here for 3 years and I've talked to more people this year than I did the previous, couple years. So maybe it's changing. Maybe the tide is changing.
Could be.
It's gotta be friendlier, huh? Don't stay in your house crocheting all the time, ignoring people.
No, that's what I wanna do is crochet, that's my life goal, crochet all the time,
All the time.
all the
Well,
time.
alrighty. So I think we've covered everything and solved the world's problems. Like we have
That's our
always said,
job.
if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to us. We will do our very best to help you with it. Other than that,
Mhm.
we want you guys to have an amazing Friday. And thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. And we always love to have your comments and the conversation. So we'll see you next week.
See
Goodbye.
ya.